Hello YouTube, how's it going? It is the Professional here. Today I wanted to make another Battlefield historical video where I would be talking about the Hellriegel, one of the strangest weapons I have ever seen. In this video I will cover the real history of the gun and what it is like in Battlefield. If this video is popular, I could do other guns in the future or other parts of the war. Now let's start off by talking about this gun in Battlefield, the Hellriegel 1915. This is an Austro-Hungarian SMG that is the most overused gun in the game. It is unlocked at rank 10 Assault, and the Hellriegel Defensive is unlocked after 300 kills with the standard Hellriegel and 25 anti-tank mine kills. This is the most overused gun in the game, no doubt. I get killed by this gun more than by any other gun in the game. I almost always see at least 5 players using this gun every game. I'm sure you guys that play the game have been killed by this thing all the time. I love history, and I know World War I history very well, and I am also into firearms, especially historical ones. Before Battlefield 1 was released, I have never heard of the Hellriegel. The only two SMGs that I knew in World War I before the game was the German MP-18 and the Beretta Model 18, also known as the Automatico. However, this thing I have never heard of. And when I first saw it, I was like, what is this thing? I first encountered it in the single player in the Italian campaign. Most of the Austro-Hungarian troops were using this gun. In the game it has a huge magazine, with a 60-round drum, and a 120-round drum with a defensive variant. It is very accurate in the game for a World War I SMG. I guarantee this gun has the most kills of any gun in the game, no doubt. There are people who use nothing but this gun. I have been killed by players who have 100 service stars with this gun. A service star is 100 kills, so that means that there are players who have over 10,000 kills with this gun. The gun has also been nerfed in updates, but is still being used by a huge majority of players. I mean here, take a look at how much damage this gun can do in the game. I managed to kill 4 players with this gun. Damn. Let's take a look at that again, but in slow motion. I thought I would do an investigation into this gun. When was this gun made, and was it used in combat like in the game? Let's take a look. The Hellriegel was manufactured in 1915, and it could have been the first submachine gun, or one of the first, since the term submachine gun did not exist yet. It was made by somebody named Hellriegel, judging by the gun's name, but there is no further record that I could find of this inventor. How many Hellriegels were made during the war? Well, as far as we know, only one was made. That's right, this gun was a prototype. Despite being extremely overused in the game, it never saw any combat use in the war. It is unknown what happened to the only model, as to this day we still have very little knowledge of how the gun actually operated. I will cover some of the things that we know, and try to guess on some other parts of the gun. The Hellriegel only has 3 pictures of the gun. These are the only pictures we have of it. Here in the first picture we see an Austro-Hungarian soldier testing the gun, and to his left we see another soldier inspecting the magazine. The gun appears to have a 20-round box magazine attached to it. If Battlefield actually had these magazines for the gun instead of the round drum, I don't think it would be abused so much. The gun does have a sling, which would make carrying the gun easier in the Italian front, especially when climbing mountains. You could use both hands to climb the terrain while having the gun rest on your back. However, looking at the gun, I think one of the reasons it was never adopted was because it's heavy. I don't know for certain that the gun is heavy, but judging by the pictures, I think that way, especially when I look at the barrel of the gun. It looks strange and large. If we look to the soldier on the left, he appears to have a backpack carrying round drum magazines for this gun. This leads me to believe that these magazines were heavy, and a team would have been needed for them, which leads me to the next picture. The round drum magazine for this gun shows that once it's attached, you cannot run around with this gun as people do in the game. If a soldier was using the round drum magazine, they would only be able to fire it in a prone position or crouched behind some kind of cover. You cannot stand with this magazine. The only magazine that would make this gun mobile would be the 20-round box magazine we saw earlier. The round drum magazine that is in the game is not the same as the one in the picture either. The magazine in-game is a fictional magazine. It never had that kind of magazine. And I understand Battlefield is not supposed to be completely realistic, but if they are going to be portraying a historical gun, please don't create fake magazines for it. As we see from the picture here, the magazine is not directly attached to the gun, instead with some kind of strange chute tube. The magazine is not belt-fed despite what people think, because the rounds are not connected to each other. Looking at the way the magazine is connected and this thing firing fully auto leads me to believe it could jam easily. Additionally, if we read its description in the game, it is incorrectly described as belt-fed, and the defensive variant has a bipod, which it never had in real life. The bipod makes this gun ridiculously accurate, and for a World War I submachine gun, I can keep huge amounts of players at bay just by spraying it at them. Take a look at this and how accurate it is.
You see him, the shock trooper. The team's are holding it.
Looking at the final picture here, we can see the internals of the magazine and the chute tube that connects it. It's unclear of how the magazine was loaded. We know that the gun had a water-cooled barrel, which were popular for machine guns in World War I, but strange for a submachine gun. A barrel using water cooling has a jacket around it that are used to cool it and prevent overheating. However, this is very strange that an SMG would be water-cooled because it's normally in machine guns. We know that the gun did operate on a blowback mechanism, which means the bolt is blown back by the residual energy of the expanding gases caused by the burning gunpowder. When the firing pin hits the primer, it ignites the gunpowder in the bullet, which sends the bullet out of the barrel. Most of the gas energy is used to push the bullet out, while some of it goes back into the gun, which cycles the next round into the chamber when it's firing. When it blows back, it extracts the spent casing and resets the trigger. This is not to be confused with gas-operated firearms because gas-operated guns have a separate tube for the gas, but blowback guns don't. This gun never advanced past the prototype stage, unlike in Battlefield 1, where it is overused by many players. I think I can see why it never advanced past it. If we look at the gun, it does look heavy, but also expensive. The reason that the Italians had a huge edge over the Austro-Hungarians was because they developed the Beretta Model 18, also known as the Automatico in Battlefield. This gun gave their troops an edge because they could arm soldiers with a submachine gun, something the Austro-Hungarians lacked. The Beretta Model 18 was not complicated to make and did not require many parts in comparison to the Hellriegel. Just by looking at all the parts of this gun leads me to believe it was expensive to produce, which is why it was never mass-produced. The tube underneath the barrel looks strange, and I've never seen one like that on a gun. I believe the tube and the wrapping around the barrel has something to do with the water cooling system on the gun, but I am unsure. The gun also looks a lot more complicated in comparison to the Beretta Model 18. While the 20-round magazine does not look expensive to produce, the round drum does, and it's unclear exactly how it was loaded. The feeding chute on this round drum magazine looks like it could jam easily, especially if you fire the gun automatic. The fact that you would not be able to be mobile with the drum magazine could have been another factor in it not being produced. We also know that the Hellriegel used a 9x23mm Steyr round, the same round used in the Steyr 1912 pistol, a common World War I pistol also in the game. Lastly, we do not even know how accurate this gun was. It does have a long barrel, especially for submachine guns, which could help with accuracy, but there is no way to know for sure how accurate this gun actually was. The accuracy could have been completely off, or it might not have been chambered correctly. We will never know because no Hellriegel designs ever survived. Not only that, but the plans for the gun design weren't even kept. It's unfortunate because even though this gun was not the first submachine gun used in combat, it could have been the first submachine gun ever designed. It is a part of history, and we will never know what this gun was truly like. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you want me to make more Battlefield historical videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.